Hey you guys, I'm back. I'm back again. And today's video is going to be about tarot. It's going to be about tarot. You know, I've been into tarot for a while now, so I feel like I'm at the point where I could start giving advice. And yeah, I've definitely improved with tarot. So, you know what I mean? Let me educate y'all about tarot, especially because, I recently, well, yeah, kind of recently started my tarot. People call it tarot. Who cares? You know what I'm talking about. My tarot service where I just basically do tarot slash intuitive readings. We're gonna get into why I call it tarot slash intuitive. But so yeah, if you want any tarot intuitive service, basically a tarot reading slash intuitive reading, I provide career, love, finance, ancestral, or just general, where you can ask any question that's not related to my other types of readings. And I also just came out with an evil eye tarot reading where you can see who is sending you bad energy, who's being fake around you, and we could uncover that in the reading. So what you need to know about tarot, and yes, I wrote this shit down in a book, period. What you need to know. First things first, right? Anybody can do tarot as long as you are a human being. And we as humans, what a lot of people don't understand, because as humans we've been taught to undermine our powers and our gifts. If you are human, that means you have a direct connection to source, right? That's why in spirituality you end up learning that we are all God. We are all a part of God, the creator, the divine. We come from that, right? So as long as you are a human being and you have that direct connection to source, then you can do tarot. Anybody can do tarot, right? But here's the thing, there's a difference between a tarot reading and an intuitive reading. When somebody says they're doing strictly a tarot reading, that means they are using and relying upon the cards to relay a message to you, right? They're using the cards, they're using the meaning, they stick book by book, right? Then there is intuitive reading, right? That's what I kind of like to do. Intuitive reading is letting your third eye, your intuition. This is usually what psychics do. They don't use tarot cards. They can just hold your hand. Basically, when you are an intuitive reader, you don't have to use tarot. You can use anything and you can use nothing at all. I can use nothing at all. Yes, you guys, I can read people with no tarot just by, you know what I mean, getting into your energy. Yeah. But intuitive readers, again, it's feeling upon the energy. It is letting your intuition guide you. It is letting your psychic ability, that third eye, that sixth sense, guide you to read somebody. And then there's both, right? Tarot slash intuitive. That's what I do. I intuitively read, and then I use the tarot cards to help me relay that message to confirm what I'm already feeling, right? Next is many tarot readers are not psychics and they be scamming y'all. Yes, I'm here to tell you, a lot of people, maybe if you're watching this and you've already purchased a tarot reading, maybe you've gotten scammed. Look, I'm not here to talk nobody, but I've seen it myself and I just want to warn everybody. Um let your intuition guide you. Don't just purchase a reading from anybody. Be careful who you purchase a reading from, because I'm seeing like people just be like, look, you can't pick up a tarot deck unless you are a psychic. You cannot pick up a tarot deck. Like, it's a lot of people who aren't even psychics. Here's the thing, right? Here's what I don't really like. The tarot community, the spiritual tarot psychic community is completely oversaturated right now. There's many people in this community who should not be in this should not be taking up this much space in the tarot community because it's not their righteous path. And I can always tell. Um, but yeah, I would just be wary of people who are strictly reading from tarot, right? When you are strictly using tarot, and again, they're not intuitively guiding themselves, they are just pulling out cards and they're reading, you know what I mean, word for word, line for line. Nine times out of ten, that means they're not using their third eye. They are strictly using the tarot deck. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. You can still get messages, but it might not be as accurate. You might not feel like the reading is resonating with you because they're not necessarily reading your energy. They're reading the cards and just reading the meaning, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you are strictly, especially if you're just strictly using tarot, I mean, who am I to judge? But it's like y'all shouldn't be charging like 20 fucking dollars. Like, look, you guys, I'm gonna keep it real with you. And this goes on to my next point, right? Tarot takes practice. So you have to study the cards and the meaning. And then once you are comfortable, that's when I started trying to read people. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I only charge $5 is because this is my first year and my first time having a business and not reading other people, but doing it online. You know what I'm saying? I'm not super duper experienced. I've spent like 2 years doing tarot on myself and doing other people here and there. But I'm not going to charge you the price of an actual experienced psychic tarot reader who's been in the game for a couple of years now because I don't have that experience that. But guarantee as I get more experience and as I advance, the prices are obviously gonna, go up. I'm gonna bring back, don't worry, the $5 is gonna come back every now and then, but the prices will go up. And that's my thing. Like, I just don't feel like people should be charging y'all like $30 for a reading. And then you know what it is too. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I do be feeling like, damn, like this is what makes me different, okay? Let me also tell y'all another reason y'all should shop with me. I'm not charging you by how many questions you ask. I'm just charging you by the type of reading you're getting, the type of service you are getting from me. You can ask any amount of questions. 10 is the minimum. And the reason why I say there is a minimum is because if you keep asking questions, the more questions I answer, the more energy it's draining from me. That's another thing about tarot, right? Another thing, your energy, tarot does drain your energy. It takes a lot of energy, especially if you are doing it psychic intuitively. Now, if you're strictly using tarot, you're not using any psychic abilities, you don't have no psychic ability, then it might not drain your energy as much because you're not using that third eye. You're not exercising that intuition. But when you are exercising your third eye and your intuition, and you are constantly tapping into many different people's energy, whether it's good or bad, it does get draining after a while. So 10 is my minimum. I'm not charging you by one question, two questions, one card, one card. I do feel like that's a little bit stingy, but that's not my business. Okay. Everybody runs their business differently. I only charge you by the type of service you're getting, what type of tarot um are you getting, right? So yeah, it takes practice. Again, I don't want y'all to think I just started doing tarot and then boom, I'm trying to charge people for a service. Like many people do that. And I kind of think that's fucked up cuz it's like your people are paying you for a service and you're kind of just like practicing as you're working. Like I don't know. I waited 2 years. Like I always thought about reading other people, but I always was like, nah, I want to make sure I fully have studied tarot before I try to read people because I don't want to be charging people and I'm not even accurate or as accurate as I can be. So yeah, study the cards and study the meaning. And obviously, for any beginning person that wants to do tarot, I would highly suggest getting the A.E. Waite. I can never pronounce this name, but y'all see it right here, the Rider Waite, whatever the fuck. Tarot. This is the classic tarot. I guess people claim that this is the first tarot deck that was ever created. This is the common one that you see everybody read, with all the major arcana. And yeah, you have the swords, the wands, the pentacles, the cups, all of that. So you have tarot and then you have oracle. Oracle is when you see other people pull out decks. Like an oracle deck is basically somebody's personal little spin on the tarot deck, right? So there's an animal oracle, there's ones with Greek gods, there's ones with celebrities. So yeah, basically like a little twist to this deck, right? That's an oracle deck. Yeah, there is also, so I know I was talking my shit, but truthfully, there is no right or wrong way to read tarot. Technically, there is no right or wrong way to read tarot. Everybody's different. Everybody does it in their own way. So, yeah, my way is I use my intuition and then I just use tarot to confirm what I'm already feeling, right? To help portray, you know what I mean? A message that I'm already feeling. Yeah, using imagery and connection to divine source. So that really is what tarot is. Tarot is using imagery and your connection to divine source, aka what some people refer to as God, to uncover hidden truths. That is literally what tarot is. And that's why it's accurate. It is helping you communicate with your higher intuitive self, with your third eye. And yeah, pretty much it. Um, Tarot should be taken seriously though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of when I'm asking for somebody to do tarot and they're asking me like bullshit questions. Let me tell you something. Tarot is very much like, if you ask a bullshit question, you're gonna get a bullshit answer. You know what I mean? Tarot is to be taken seriously. So silly questions aren't gonna equal you silly answers. Um, and another thing, if you keep like, okay, spirit can get tired of you. Like, I've done this before where I've asked, like, especially if I'm second guessing myself and they've already given me an answer. And especially if you keep asking the same questions again, it's like spirit will literally get tired and they'll start giving you like bullshit cards that are basically like telling you, girl, I said what I said. Like, literally, tarot spirit can refuse to answer certain questions, especially if you keep asking the same question over and over again. Like, they're gonna tell you, bitch, you already asked this question. Um, so yeah, another thing when it comes to questions, wording is very important. You have to be very specific so you can get a very specific answer. So for example, say like I'm like, am I gonna pass this test? But I really mean my driver's test. They're gonna be like, yeah, you passed the test already, but they're talking about a spiritual test. You have to be specific, like, am I gonna pass my driver's test? Or when you ask, hey, will I be successful? You have to define what successful is to you. If you mean successful as in, will I get married and have kids? And they're like, no, because you're probably, I mean, and then they're like, no, because they're talking about money. Like, I don't know. You just have to be very specific when it comes to asking certain questions. And yeah, another thing with tarot is try not to make the questions too complex. Like trying, like, you know, when you're typing into Google, it's like typing into Google and you don't want the question to be too long because then it's like you're not going to get the exact answer you want. So you have to kind of simplify the question a little bit, but still make it very specific. Another thing that I learned with tarot very quickly is that you have to take breaks because it is definitely energy draining, especially for my psychic intuitives, my people who use their psychic abilities while they're doing tarot. It is very much so draining. You do have to take breaks. When I first got into tarot, I didn't understand that, but I did know like if I continuously did tarot day after day, I would get tired and like I would be less and less accurate because I would be drained. So yeah, you do kind of have to take a little bit of a break. And yeah, your tarot deck also must be cleansed. When I say cleansed, use sage, smudging, or incense to cleanse your tarot deck. Because again, when you're reading on different people, energies, here's the thing, when it comes to spirituality, something that I learned very quickly, energy can stick onto you like glue. And it can also stick onto your tarot deck. So it's very important to cleanse the energy so that when you're asking different questions about different people, you're not, you know what I mean? It's more accurate. It's more like how can I explain it? Like, you don't want energy being mixed up. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard. It's like, for example, when you cook in a pot, when you have a pot and you're cooking food and you taste the food and it's like, why is it garlic? Why am I tasting a bit of garlic when I'm trying to make apple pie? But that's because you didn't clean the pot. You get what I'm saying? So there's still garlic from your garlic knots that you made earlier. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's hard to explain, but you got to clean the pot basically so you're not tasting leftover food from before. Um, and yeah, you can grow connected and have some type of like, you can grow accustomed to a deck, right? So this deck has my energy all over it. I am very accustomed to this deck. I got comfortable to it. So yes, your tarot does absorb your energy. It doesn't matter how many times you sage it. Well, it does kind of matter. You can sage your, but if it's constantly around you, your energy will always be in this deck, which is a good thing, right? Because it's something that you might frequently use. So yeah, your energy can be stained on the deck. And last but not least, again, I always make this clear to people who get tarot readings from me. You may not always get the answer that you seek. Again, when you're using tarot, you're also talking to spirit, you're talking to your spirit team, your ancestors, all of that. And sometimes you may ask a question like, "Hey, will I find new love in 2025, but your finances is looking a little wonky." You know what I mean? Spirit's gonna be like, girl, you worried about the wrong thing. Like, let's talk about this finance. Let's talk about your career. So you may not always get the answers you want. Tarot will tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Period. So yeah. Overall, that's all I have to say about tarot. Oracle decks are very expensive. So I do want to purchase an Oracle deck. And if y'all don't know, I did have an Oracle deck. I had like a black ancestral one and it vanished. Like I moved and I'm still mad about it to this day. So I just repurchased the typical holographic Rider Waite tarot deck, but I will be getting an oracle at some point. Okay, shop with me again. I'm not gonna upcharge you, I'm not gonna scam you. Okay, I'm charging those prices because I'm not experienced, not because I'm not confident in my capabilities, or because I'm a fraud and I'm not really like, no, I am psychic, y'all. I am, but I don't have that much experience. So I got to be fair. You know what I mean? A lot of tarot readers are greedy. They just want to, you know what I mean, make a quick buck. And yeah, use discernment as well. Just because somebody's reading tarot cards, and that doesn't necessarily mean what they're saying is true. Use discernment to, and use your intuition to confirm whether it applies to you or not. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope y'all enjoyed this reading, and see y'all on the next one.